KTM motorcycles make me crazy. Let's get into it.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. So this video is all about KTM motorcycles, and sometimes they just absolutely drive me crazy. But I am a huge fan of the company, but the bikes that they have produced over the years. Now, I do come from a bit of an off-road world, when I first started out as a kid. So I'm always interested in any kind of off-road bike, any kind of dirt bikes. And let's face it, KTM have been king of that world for a long, long time. Two-strokers, four-strokers in the Enduro and Motocross world. You know, one of my favourite races that I featured on this channel, the Dakar, they've been kings of that, well, for the most part, really, for the last 15 or 16 years or so. So they have immense pedigree in that world. But let's just take it to the on-road world. Some of their bikes are just amazing. You know, the adventure bikes, yes, they're big and heavy, but they are fantastic. The middleweight bikes are just brilliant as well. So they are just awesome machines. And whichever bike you look at, they've just got pedigree, they've got performance, and they've got build quality, which is just something that I truly admire. However, there are some things that drive me absolutely potty. Let me explain. So some of you might be thinking, crikey, he rides a Harley Davidson, he can talk. That's true. That's absolutely true. And these bikes and this manufacturer, can hold their head in shame sometimes as well. But KTM, well, they started off as an Austrian company, of course, and they still are, but they're now owned by an Indian company. Now, for some people, that's a bad thing. Others would say it's a good thing. I'm kind of indifferent. I don't mind either way. But sometimes you look at the KTM, who have such pedigree and such performance and such great bikes, and you think, well, especially in the off-road world, they have lots of problems, or there are lots of foibles with those bikes. And you think, can't they just sort that out? Can't they just fix that and be done with it? Then each generation that comes on, you think, well, what, another bike? What, another variant? And you look at their bikes over the years and think, every year there's something new, or there's a new trick, or there's a new variation. And you think, crikey, I thought Harley Davidson was bad, then KTM just come out with something else. And it's just like, you can't keep up. You can't keep up with what they're bringing out. The other thing that annoys me, well, not annoys me, drives me crazy, I should say, is some of their design features. I think let's just take the on-road bikes, the headlights. I see these bikes on the adventure bikes and the middleweight bikes as well. And I think, what is it, an alien? Is it Transformer? What is it, some kind of upside-down uterus? I don't know. I don't know what it looks like. I mean, it's just weird. And I just think, sometimes I look at the bikes, and whether it's the orange or whether it's the orange, black and grey, but it just doesn't seem to quite work for me. Say some of the design features, some of the flow, the lines. Now, I'm no motorcycle designer, of course, I'd never claimed to be, but you either like them or not. And we say this in England, they're Marmite bikes. You either like them and love them, or you're not that keen on them. And on the design point of view, I kind of look at them and think, oh, not too sure, especially when they have the white coloured bikes. It just doesn't seem to work. Now, I could be completely wrong here, and let us know in the comments below. Now, again, you either like them or you don't. And these are small things, but design things like the headlights, like the colour combinations, I sometimes think, ooh, not too sure about that. But I think one of the biggest things that made me crazy about KTM, and I still can't reconcile myself with this right now, even now. A few years ago, I think it's 2008, they bought out a sports bike, their first sports bike, V-Twin. Yes, V-Twin. We all love V-Twins, right? And it's the RC8. Awesome machine, or I thought at the time, awesome, this is going to blow the world apart. But it never really did. It never really took off. And then I think, well, what was wrong with that bike? Well, I had lots of issues with that bike, of course, as all bikes do. But then I saw one in the flesh and I thought, well, it just doesn't look right. It doesn't, there's something about it. I don't know. I mean, I saw a white variant and I thought, well, the paint looks faded on it. It just looks plastic. It just looks cheap. And that's possibly something about KTM of older bikes. Maybe not so much new bikes, but older bikes. They just look a little bit cheap at times. They look a little bit too heavily involved with plastics. And I think that's what it is. It's just something that's not quite on the money for KTMs. Great bikes, great performing, great handling, great all around. Off-road, they've got sewn up. On-road, they're just awesome. great power, great delivery, great handling, all that kind of stuff. But sometimes just the looks of them, or maybe the amount of plastics that they use, or the seemingly amount of plastics that they use, it just doesn't seem quite right. But let us know what you think of this. I mean, I say KTM's, I'd love to ride them. I think the ones that I've tried have been absolutely fantastic. And KTM are just a fantastic brand, I cannot deny. And they've grown in market share, you cannot deny. But they still drive me crazy. Let us know your thoughts on this, and what do you think of them from all the bikes that you've ridden or seen. Let us know. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share. Check out the website RevelatorAlf.com, and I'm going to go ride my non-KTM down this road. Ta-da.